So you just open up a brand new brokerage account, you got $1,000, and you're trying to figure out where to put it. Well, I got you. I'll show you what to do in this video. Welcome back to another video. So we're going to get into how to invest your first $1,000. I believe in having a starting five, and what I mean by that is having 2 ETFs and 3 individual stocks. So the 2 ETFs I'm going with is going to be the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VOO, and then the Vanguard High Growth Index, VUG. And so what I'm doing is, as far as my individual stocks, I personally want to use Microsoft, I want to use Amazon, and I want to use Berkshire Hathaway. And a pro tip here, if you want to find some individual stocks on your own to invest in, I would start with the ETF. And we're on Yahoo Finance right here. And if we scroll down, you can actually see the top holdings in the ETF. You can see the sector weighting. But even if you look at the holdings here, you see Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Amazon, Berkshire. And you're probably wondering, okay, if the individual stocks I'm picking are already in the ETF, why am I even buying them individually? Well, my downside is protected when I'm using the ETF. So if Microsoft goes down by 20%, the entire VOO may only go down 5%. And that's just an example. But I also want to be exposed to that upside. If Microsoft runs up 20-30%, VOO may only run up 5-6%. So I want to also be exposed to the upside. So that's why I like to do that. Also, when I'm looking at trying to find a stock or ETF to buy, I wanted to pass that eye test. So I like to go to the chart, click on the 5-year. And if I see a nice bottom left to upper right growth in that stock price, that's usually a go for me. So let's just look at Microsoft, the graph on Microsoft. So everything get loaded up here. But yeah, look at the 5-year on Microsoft. You see that's a beautiful bottom left to upper right. And so let's move over to Webull. So Webull, I'm using this because you have the ability to buy fractional shares. I want to split up the 1,000 in certain percentages. So with my ETFs, my VOO and VUG, I want to have about 50% of my money there. And then in my 3 individual stocks, I want to have 40% there. And I also want to have 10% for that high risk, high reward kind of stock. So even though I got my starting 5, I want to have that one that can come off the bench and also be a player. And I like to have a watch list. That's the first thing I do when I have a new brokerage account. I create a watch list. And so here I added the SPY, which is the S&P 500. And then I added QQQ. And this tracks technology. And then I added Nvidia. So Nvidia is going to be my stock that I use to come off the bench for me. And a lot of people may say Nvidia is a super solid company, which it is. But right now we're in a chip super cycle. And if that were to go away, I'm afraid that may hit Nvidia's stock price. But for right now, Nvidia is running. So I definitely want that on the team. So I want to go over a couple things here. The main thing I'm looking at here is, okay, I already got Microsoft selected. A couple things I want to show you guys when you're actually placing a trade. So we got the ticker symbol, MSFT. We got Microsoft pulled up. You have the bid and the ask spread here. So this is a marketplace. The bid is where you want to buy. The ask is where you want to sell. And you see it's a difference here. So if I'm buying Microsoft, I want to get it as close to this 406.05 as possible. And if I already own the stock and I want to sell it, I want to sell it at 406.20. Okay. And the two major order types for this is limit and market. For this video, we'll be mainly focused on market, but the limit order allows you to be more specific with the price. So let's just say I wanted to buy Microsoft at $406.15. But the downside to this is it's not a guarantee I get filled at that price. Now, if I go ahead and select market price and I selected one share, change that to 1, I would get filled most likely at the ask price. But I want to buy fractional shares like I spoke about earlier. So unfortunately, the desktop version does not allow me to purchase fractional shares. So what I'll do is I'll go through the video on how to actually purchase these shares on the mobile app, and I'll add it here. Okay, so we're over here on Webull. We've already established our starting 5, and we're about to actually buy these stocks. We already got our watch list created. We already got the game plan on dollar cost averaging. And we see we have $1,100 currently in the account. So we're going to go down here to trade. We're going to put in our first stock, VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 fund. We're going to go down to where it says limit price and change it to market. We're going to make sure it says USD. And we're going to put in our 250. So the breakdown for all of this, my 2 ETFs, I'm going to put 50% of my portfolio in that. And I'm going to break up the rest of it, my starting 5, with around 13% or so. Now we're going to the next one, VUG, the Vanguard Growth Fund. Same thing, change it to market order. Go ahead and put in 250. Place the order. Also, when we're investing our first 1K, I don't want to spend it all. I do want to keep a little cash on the sideline, just in case we have a market crash or a dip of some sort we can take advantage. Okay, so we're moving into selecting our first individual stock, which is Microsoft. And we'll repeat the steps and go through the same process. But this time, I'm going to choose 130 for my dollar amount. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to add Berkshire because they didn't allow me to do fractional shares with this. So we're going to switch that one out with Nvidia and make sure we have Amazon. But I will choose Berkshire as I have more money and put more money in the account. I will switch over and add Berkshire Hathaway to the account. But as you can see here, it's not difficult at all actually buying the stocks. And also the most important comment and or tip is number 5 on that list. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more content. And see, we have our starting 5 established, and I'll be back with you guys with another update on the account in about 2 weeks or so. Thank you.